Good morning, everyone. P. Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of our RANT series. Today is almost kind of like a part two of the rant I did over the weekend, the frequently asked questions sort of thing, but with a little caveat on top of that, because today is kind of a celebration for me, and hopefully for everybody else on this channel, as we hit and surpassed 20,000 subscribers last night. And actually, as of probably right about now, I haven't checked in about a half hour or so, we were just about at 2,100 already. So, 20,100. A pretty cool feat, because the way we've been going the last couple of months, I did not think we would hit it till probably mid-late February. So we basically got there just as February was kind of coming into play here. So very, very cool, considering how just a few short months ago, we weren't even at 10. So I think it's a testament to, hopefully the content you guys want to see, right? But also to all of you for continuing to come back and deciding that you like me and you like what we do here enough to hit the subscribe button so you get alerts on all of our stuff and whatever. And then if you don't, because here's the funny thing: as great as 20,000 is as a number of subscribers, I was looking at the YouTube analytics on the channel just over the weekend, and in the month of January alone, we had like 258,000 unique visitors coming onto the channel and watching content. So think about that. So, almost 300,000 people, yet we only have 20,000 subscribers. So a lot of people come, watch something, maybe never come back. A lot of people also, and I'm pretty sure, because I've seen it a lot in the comments lately, where people are like, Pete, I've been watching you for like 3 or 4 years. I finally subscribed. So I guess my question is, why, if you're bookmarking us and you come back fairly often, why not just subscribe? This way, every time I post something, excuse me, you'll get an email alerting you to the type of content. And there you can say, okay, that looks cool, I'll watch that. Or maybe maybe I'm not that interested in that band or that topic, I won't watch that, whatever. But at least you get notified. So, I don't know. I don't know how everybody works on YouTube. I mean, I know for me, I don't watch many YouTube channels. I just don't have the time. But I know there's a couple of them that I do watch fairly religiously. And I hit that subscribe button because I want to be alerted when they post new stuff. All right, because again, then I can decide, do I want to watch this? Do I not want to watch this? Maybe I'll watch it later, so I'll leave the email in my inbox to remind myself to go watch when I have some time. So anyway, a couple of things that we didn't kind of cover. And again, thank you to everybody. All right, 20,000, it's a big number for me. And I don't know if we'd ever get here, okay, or if it was even possible. I didn't start doing this channel to, get millions of subscribers or make a ton of money and what have you. But, the more you think about it, I've been doing this Sea of Tranquility thing now for over 20 years. And up until real recently, I've never made any money doing it. And I probably sunk a ton of my own money over the years and keeping the website going for all those years, okay, still going, shipping CDs to writers all over the world so they can review the vast amount of product that we get asked to review, all right, sitting at this desk and doing the research and spending the time to bring you guys content almost on a daily basis now for almost 5.5 years. So all told, between the webzine and the Facebook page and then the YouTube channel, I've been doing Sea of Tranquility related stuff now since the late 90s. When we were a magazine, that was like 98, right? 98, 99. I took over the website in 2001. So it's a long time and a lot of money that I've spent doing this. So it kind of feels good to be making a little bit of money. I'm not making a lot of money, but every little bit helps. But it's a lot of work. This, just in case you guys don't know, this has become a part-time job for me. Specifically the YouTube channel. But it's not even talking about the website, because the website also is a lot of work there too. But I found I've been spending more time here on the YouTube channel, and we still have a handful of writers that contribute stuff on the website. So thankfully for them, they've been keeping up what they're doing, because I have been not contributing as much writing to the website over the last year or so, because I've been doing so much here with this. But it's all fun. This is a labor of love for me, as you guys know. I do this not for the fame, not for the fortune, but because I love it. For the first time in my life, I'm 54 years old. And, I'm doing something as like a part-time gig that I truly, truly am passionate about. And again, I've been doing it for over 20 years. But I think that it's really starting to mean something now. And I feel like I'm finally reaching the people who everything I've been talking about and writing about for 20 years, all that is meant to be reached with the audience I have now. And there's more out there. Okay, there's more out there. So again, if you're new, and again, this video here is more of like a channel reset. Gear Lad, one of our loyal viewers, suggested that maybe I do like an updated video, kind of talking about the channel and what our mission is and what we do here. And that's the point of today's rant here. If you want to call it a rant, it's more of kind of like an info session. Why we do what we do, why we're here, what the purpose of this channel is. If you've come here, why you should stick around, or maybe not, right? So the purpose of this channel, from the very beginning, this was always meant to be an extension of what we've done on seaoftranquility.org, the webzine, all right, which is to bring to the attention of you guys, the viewers, a lot of great new music from new bands or new music from classic, legendary bands, okay? We cover all forms of heavy metal, all forms of hard rock, progressive rock from all over the globe, jazz and jazz fusion. Okay, we might do a little bit of folk, might do a little electronica here and there, right? We don't really cover punk, not really into that. Don't cover new wave. We may do some pop stuff from time to time, all right? So, if you don't hear what you're really into, it probably just means it's not the genres that I specialize in, okay? Because I'm going to talk about the stuff that I know a lot about, that I specialize in. I'm going to promote the bands and the genres that we specialize in here. Because quite frankly, it doesn't make sense for me to talk about a band I know nothing about. I know I get a lot of people who are like, Pete, why can't you do a show on this band and their discography? It's like, well, I don't have any of their stuff. I'm not really that into them. Or maybe I have a greatest hits set. That's it. Oh, but you should still talk about them. It's like, no, you know what? There's people more qualified than me on the internet to talk about those bands that they know a lot about. If I don't know a lot about, whoever, The Clash, all right? And I don't. I own a greatest hits set. That's it. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not qualified to talk about them. Okay, get a lot of people lately who are asking questions about some like lesser known like prog bands. Okay, and they're like, Pete, can you do a show? You talk about so many prog bands. Can you do a show on like Caravan comes to mind? I get a lot of people asking me, can you do a show ranking the Caravan albums? It's like, guys, I have one Caravan compilation. That's it. All right. I know they're one of those kind of like semi-major band, not really major, but, a very notable band in that second wave of prog in the 70s. I just never really got into their music that much. I have a compilation. It's good. So I'm not really qualified to talk about them. Don't get insulted when I say, no, I'm not really the person to do that because I only have a compilation. I'm not, same like Magma. God, everybody asks me, Pete, I can't believe you don't like Magma. You never talk about Magma. I've tried for like 30 years, guys, to get into their music. I don't like it. Their singing drives me bananas. I had like almost the entire discography. I got rid of it because I forced myself. I'm like, I'm going to get into Magma no matter how much it kills me. And I bought like all of their 70s and 80s stuff. And I'm like, God, I just can't get into this. You can't click with every band. I got rid of all of them. Sold them all. Right? So sorry that you're not going to hear me talk about Magma other than what I'm talking about right now. Okay? So just, understand that I can't talk about every single band. I like a lot of groups from throughout the history of rock. A lot. So I'm going to try and get to as much of them as possible. But there's going to be some bands, another one that comes to mind. A lot of people lately are asking me to rank all the Scorpions albums. I got to be honest. I love the 70s Scorpion stuff. I like the early to mid 80s Scorpion stuff. I really, really fell off the map with the Scorpions after like 1987 or so. They put out a lot of albums post then, into the 90s and up to recently. I just haven't gotten into any of them. It's not that I dislike them. It's just I've heard them, listened to them, haven't bought most of them. What I've heard just hasn't really done a lot for me. I find that as the older I'm getting, I really gravitate towards those Uli John Roth era albums. And that's what I listen to most. With a couple of those early, Love Drive, Animal Magnetism, Blackout, that sort of stuff. I still like that. So there's some bands that I dig a lot, but maybe I just am not as hip to their entire discography. So I'm going to focus on the ones that I may own everything or close to everything they have, and I know it really damn well. Okay, because I don't feel it's right for me to be kind of, I make some exceptions from time to time. Like I did the Pantera top 10 songs recently, where I did not talk about their really early first 4 albums, because quite frankly, up until recently, no way to get them, right? Even if I had them, chances are I probably wouldn't have included any of those songs in my top 10 song show. But, thinking back on it now, it's like, it's a shame I couldn't even mention some of them. So I may go back and do like my favorite tunes from those first 4 albums now that one of our kind viewers, Nick, was nice enough to send them to me. But it's going to be a while because I'm still trying to get to know those albums. So, from time to time, I may make an exception. But for the most part, I'm going to stick to bands that I'm very familiar with. I'm very familiar with the entire discography, okay, whether it's really tiny or a little bit longer. Also, getting a lot of people asking me, God, Pete, can you rank the entire discography of Frank Zappa or the Rolling Stones? I mean, guys, they got a ton of albums. Zappa especially. Shit, he's got so many albums. How are you going to do that? What do we got, a 2-hour show? Yeah, but, I may say, instead of ranking all their studio albums, like for Zappa, for instance, I may say, I'm going to give you my top 10 favorite Zappa albums. That I may do. Mike Antonelli, you watching? Because we may do that together. Same thing with the Stones. All right. They got like 25, 30 albums, whatever it is. It's like, Jesus. So I may decide to do, my top 10 Rolling Stones albums. Okay. So just be patient. I don't mind you guys, making recommendations, but just trust me enough to know that you see the wall of CDs behind me. I got a whole closet full of them over here. I'm going to try and tackle as many of these bands that I can. All right. You know the bands I like. It's no secret if you look on our playlist, and that's the next topic we're going to talk about here, that I'm going to try and get to as many of them as I can. But you got to be patient. All right. I don't do this all day long. All right. I try to squeeze this in the morning, and I'm doing this all weekend long. So, just be patient. Okay. Next topic, playlists. All right. I know we have a lot of people on the channel in recent months, a lot of new people. Okay. I'm going to tell everybody right now, you can continue to put in the comments, Pete, when are you going to do a show on this? Pete, when are you going to do a show on this? How about a top 10 songs on this? Pete, when are you going to rank the albums of this? Now, if you look at the comments section, that almost every video's got hundreds of comments, and some of them thousands of comments. In many instances, your comment is not going to get answered by me. Okay, you might, but I give a lot of credit to a lot of the loyal viewers here who have been here a long time, who are like, they'll go and answer those questions. Pete has already done that show. Go look in the playlist. So my point is here. Before you start asking all sorts of questions and posting questions in the comments about shows you want to see, or asking me, have you ever done a show? I go to great lengths to keep the playlist section here on the channel in tip-top shape and up to date. All you got to do, guys, is go to the playlist. I have playlists for every type of show we do here, and let's talk about those, okay? So these are the type of, we do all sorts of shows here. I don't do all of them all the time. Sometimes it goes in waves depending on how popular they are. So right now, the big thing is the ranking the albums shows, right? There's a ranking the albums playlist, or rank the albums playlist, whatever it's called. Anyway, there's a playlist there. Every single show I've ever done in that format is in that playlist. All you got to do is click on that playlist and go in, and there are all the videos. Remember, we got 5.5 years of video archives here, so there's a lot of content. And I know it's hard, that's why I put it in playlists, so you guys can find it easier. If you like the top 10 songs format, you want to know if I've done a top 10 song show on Journey, go to the playlist. You'll find it there. Okay? Pete, have you ever reviewed an album by last year from the band such and such? Go to our album reviews, What's Hot playlist. You'll see all sorts of stuff. In fact, there's more videos in that playlist than anything else, because that's all we did for the first couple of years we were on YouTube here. All right? All sorts of stuff. And granted, the early videos are not labeled with all the albums that were reviewed. I did a little bit differently back in the early days. I would basically do like a 20-minute show, and I would review, like a stack of CDs. All right. I don't do that anymore. All right. Because I think that's harder to kind of weed through. I've learned the error of my ways. And now it's like, if I'm going to do review a new product, you get one CD per show, not a whole stack of them. Okay. Because I think it's easier to find that way. And I think that works out better. Keeps the video shorter too. So there's a playlist for that. If you love my rants, there's a rant playlist. If you love the what if shows that I do either by myself or with the Cybert Brothers, there's a playlist for that. Okay. If you love the classic album war format, which we'll get back to at some point in time, there's a playlist for that. Okay, so if you love the interviews, when I've interviewed bands and musicians and things like that, all right, there's a playlist for that. So it's not hard to find the content, all right? Just take the time to go look. It's not that difficult, all right? Because if you're going to sit there and wait for me to answer your question in the comments, that may never come. I try to go in and look at comments and answer some things from time to time. Can't do it all the time. All right, I'm just too busy, and there's just too many of them nowadays. That's what happens when you grow. All right, when the channel grows. Speaking of that, I want to kind of go back to a topic I talk about on the rant from this weekend. So I made a comment the other day about how a bunch of longtime viewers have reached out to me in recent month or two, and they've been like, Pete, I love your channel. I've been a loyal viewer for years and years, but man, I can't take some of the stuff that goes on in the comments section anymore. And there's so many people who just type in really offensive stuff, and I'm thinking about just not coming back anymore because I can't take it. It's just driving me crazy. And I talked about that the other day, and I have, there were a bunch of people who were like, why would people even say something like that, or reach out to you? All they have to do is not read the comments. And I get what you're saying, because I that's a lot of the feedback that I've given and the advice I've given. It's like, if it really, is bothering you that much, I'd hate to see you leave. Just don't read the comments, maybe. Okay. But I understand why they're coming to me and saying that. All right. And here's my explanation for those who are questioning why people would just stop reading the comments. Because you got to understand, all right, historically on this channel, before we started, getting all these thousands and thousands of subscribers, this was a very close-knit little community on here. Okay. We had our, couple hundred or maybe a couple thousand subscribers, and a lot of really hardcore loyal viewers that came here because they liked being part of a community. And our comments and feedback section was where everybody kind of hung out and chatted with each other and shared ideas and comments and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we did have the occasional, idiot who came in here and tried to start trouble. It happens on every channel. But for the most part, it was just a lot of guys and gals, all right? God, I sound like my father there, guys and gals, who would, just get together. They would listen to me talk about, whatever I'm talking about. And then they would get into conversations. I'd jump in, we'd get into conversations. And it was this very close little, we called it the SOT family, the SOT community. And most people, there was another reason why they loved coming here, because it was a safe haven, okay, where people could just talk about their love for music and all these great bands. It's harder to do that now. And so I understand perfectly where these folks are coming from, okay? Because all of a sudden now, a video post and there's hundreds of thousands of comments, okay? You got always a handful or more of people who are they're not regular viewers, and they come in just to start trouble and just start trolling around and posting ridiculous stuff, okay? Negative stuff. And it's a turnoff to a lot of people, because before they could come in, they could feel comfortable, they could make a comment, get into a conversation with someone, and no one was going to come in and just try and rip their head off for something stupid. That's not really the case anymore, but that's the nature of YouTube, unfortunately. Okay. The more eyes you get on the channel, the more people you got coming in who really are not regular viewers, and all they care about is spreading their trollish negativity. All right. And unfortunately, that's the way of the world. It's been a lot for me to understand that and deal with that as well. Okay. One of the things that a couple people have told me in recent months is like, Pete, you got to have thicker skin. Just don't pay them any mind. All right. And it's true. It's hard though. It's hard. When you're a sensitive person and you take pride in what you do, and then you got people who really don't even care about what it is you're talking about and just coming in and saying stupid things, whether they're, saying something towards me or my viewers, I take it personally. Okay. I had to learn not to. Okay. It's just the nature of the game, right? So so that's the reason why you've got a lot of longtime viewers who have just been kind of like, geez, is this still a place for me? And my response is, it certainly is the place for you. And I hope you continue to keep this Sea of Tranquility YouTube channel to be your home for enjoyable discussion on quality music. All right. And if does it suck that maybe we can't all converse like we used to in the comments? Sure. I think we still can. All right. For the most part, because a lot of people still do it. All right. It gets more difficult because now the scope is just magnified beyond belief. So if you just don't like some of the stuff you see, watch, and continue to watch, and maybe just the commenting now is gotten more difficult. But so I would hope that you guys don't leave, some of you longtime folks, just because we're getting bigger. But if none of that stuff bothers you, hey, then go at it, because it's still cool to see really worthwhile comments and people and discussion in the comments section. It's what we're all about, right? We're all about spreading the word of music and talking about it and showing our love for it, and that's what it's all about. What else? I think that kind of covers everything. Yeah, maybe one other thing. All right, one other thing. So I occasionally get, and again, this is not surprising, I occasionally get the comment of, Pete, you seem like a really nice guy. I love what you talk about, but man, you need more pizzazz on your channel. Your videos are kind of boring because you're just sitting there and talking, and you don't play any music, you don't have any cool kind of animation and all that kind of stuff, and you should throw like band clips on there and put up stills of the album covers and all this kind of stuff, and other comments is like, Pete, you said the release date of that album wrong. Pete, you mispronounced that song title. Pete, it's like, guys, okay, understand something. Like I said, this is a part-time gig for me. I try to bring you as much content as I possibly can. I have a full-time job. I have a lot of other things going on in my life. I don't have the time or, quite frankly, the expertise or the money to pay for it to do all sorts of fancy stuff here in these videos. If you're someone who doesn't have the attention span to sit and listen to someone talk for 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever the length of the video might be, without, having your senses overloaded with special effects and CGI and music and all this kind of stuff, then this isn't the channel for you. I'm not that guy. Okay? I'm not that guy, and I'm probably never going to be that guy. Maybe at some point when this channel starts to get even more popular and we're making enough money where I can maybe hire someone to go add some kind of cool little things here, maybe a nice intro, maybe we'll do that. But I don't have the time to do that, okay? Even if I was to learn all these little tricks how to do stuff, you'd be getting one video a week from me because I'd be saving it all for the weekend when I actually have some time to do all that. And quite frankly, that's not what I'm all about, all right? I'm not about gimmicks. I'm not about flashy stuff. I'm not about special effects and all this wild editing and all that kind of stuff. It's just not me, all right? It's just not me. So if you don't have the attention span to sit and just listen to someone talk intelligently about music they love, maybe you learn a little something about a band you never heard of or an album you never heard of, or maybe it just reminds you that you need to go back and listen to some cool stuff that you haven't in you. That's what we're all about here. I'm not here to do flashy stuff. Sorry. Okay, and I do these almost always in one take. There's no rehearsal, there's no editing. I don't have cue cards, and sometimes I have notes if I'm doing like real specific stuff. But I am going to, on occasion, mispronounce things. I am going to, on occasion, give wrong release dates on albums. That's why a lot of times I don't even bother, because you can, quite frankly, go right to the Wikipedia page of any band I talk about, and right there is every album listed with the release dates. So, I'm not here to give you every little detail about every little thing I talk about, okay? But it's a catch-22 situation, right? So I get people who get upset with me because I don't give all those little details. And then when I try to amass all the details for you, if I make a little mistake on something, people focus on that and can't let it go. It's like, guys, I'm human, just like you. I don't follow you around all day long and, listen to every little thing you say. Oh, you said that wrong. Oh, you mispronounced that. It's years, not tears. Okay, that was released in 1982, not 1981. You don't know what you're talking about. You're losing your credibility. I had a guy, the very, very first history of show that I did recently, a while back, I should say. The very first I did, it was the history of Whitesnake. Okay, it was the very first history of show that I did. And, it was the first time doing it. And, I love Whitesnake. I know a lot about him. But, instead of putting down, jotting down like all the actual album release dates and all the exact lineups on every album and stuff like that, I just kind of winged it by memory. And I went to, looked at the back of the CD and all that kind of stuff. And I got a good chunk of the early albums, the year release dates wrong. And I got a couple of like bass players wrong, a couple albums, whatever. But I didn't, no big deal, right? You wouldn't believe the amount of people who are like, oh my God, you're embarrassed. I got a guy who watched that video recently comment, he goes, you're embarrassing yourself. You totally screwed up all those release dates. And Colin, what's his face, was not on this album. He was on that album. And Cozy was in this band before. It's like, Jesus. All right. But you didn't listen to anything else I said. Because most of what I talked about was the band and the music and the albums and the songs. But yet that doesn't matter. You're going to make a nitpick about little minute stuff, which, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, okay, fine, whatever. If that's what's more important to you, then go ahead. But like I said, I don't rehearse these. All right, they're not heavily scripted and stuff. This is just me being honest and being me for you guys. Okay, so these little mistakes are going to happen. You can make a big deal about it if you want, but you know what? It doesn't mean shit to me. It's just more annoying to see all the comments of people. It's like, oh my God, he said this, the name of this song was this. Ha ha, I bet she's never even listened to that album. Wrong. Okay? When you're doing shows like this and you're doing a lot of them and what you're talking about, song after song and band members, it's a lot of data. It's a lot of data. You're not going to say every little thing correctly, because sometimes, I get tongue-tied just like everybody else does. It's just the way it is. You can't remember every song title exactly off of every single album you like. It doesn't, that's why people are like, oh, Pete, a lot of times you're reading the track list on the back, or you're looking at the track list to remember it. It's like, yeah, I've got fucking 10,000 albums on CD. It's like, you think I'm going to remember every single song title from every single album that I love? It's impossible. If you can do that, more power to you. Okay? I'm not perfect. All right? Never said I was. So anyway, there's 25 minutes of kind of like a channel reset here. All right. It's 2020, 20,000 viewers. It's a new straightaway journey for us here on Sea Tranquility. Thank you for being on board. Hope you stay on board. We got a lot more exciting things coming up. I'm hoping to get to later. There's going to be a little light today on content other than this, but I'm going to hope to get to a review of the new Magnum CD later today if I can. If not, it'll be tomorrow, and then hopefully tomorrow we'll have a ranking the album show for I don't know what yet. We'll see. I got a bunch of them in mind for this week, so we got a lot to do. So we'll see how it all goes. But stay tuned. Visit us on the web at www.cetranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're on YouTube all the damn time. We'll see you guys later today or tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.